praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh, Bahashem, Kakadash, Barakabam to the elders and apostles, and Shalom, and the Heavenly Father, the true name is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, Bahashem, in the name of Hamashiach Yahweh. Those are the true names in the ancient Pelican Hebrew, the Holy Tongue. And I said, Barakabam to the elders and apostles, Wa'akim, and I say Shalom, and this is a outside lesson number 2. As of April 25th, 2026, on this Saturday. And the top of the outside lesson going to be Ezekiel Chapter 35, verse 1. So it's going to be very quickly. And this is, I'm going to bring out some precepts along the way. And this is out of the second Esdras, chapter 9, verse 5. It says, for like all is made the world, had beginning ends manifest. And so for like all is made the world, beginning ends made manifest. And so Esau's in the world is going to follow. That's why we are prophesying against our modern day Messiah. Just like the prophet Ezekiel was prophesying against ancient Messiah, now we're prophesying against modern day Messiah. Esau Edom know his leadership was coming to mind. That's why we're prophesying against modern day Messiah. And we're prophesying against the words about God, which is written on Esau Edom. And so Esau modern day Messiah, not building, not shot from his ways Edom. And his leadership was coming to mind. And so it's something. Bring out another precept. This is second Esdras 6, verse 7. And so I say, what should be the call of several times? One should be the beginning of the Father. Second Esdras 6, verse 8. And he said unto me, unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and Jacob. And Esau's born of him. Jacob said had first to kill Esau. Like the story between Jacob and Esau. So Esau came out first, and Jacob came out last, and had the hand of hitting Esau. So that's symbolic in modern day times of Esau's in the world should be involved. That's why we're prophesying against modern day Messiah. Like it says in the book of Ezekiel Chapter 35, verse 1. Second Esdras 6, verse 9. For Esau is in the world, Jacob getting follow. And so Esau's in the world, Jacob getting follow. And Wadi Habash Mashab bring out another precept. And this is in the book of Psalms 137. Psalms 137 in verse Psalms 137, verse 7. It says, remember all Yahweh. It said, remember all Yahweh, the children of Edom. In the day of Jerusalem, it said, raise and raise even to the foundation of the world. Because Yahweh Shemashah has war with Amalek to this day. Exodus 17 and 16. And so Esau is going to get that righteous recompense when he gets his brother Jacob. Like it says in the book of Ezekiel Chapter 35, verse 35. And so he had that perpetual, not like his brother Jacob. He had shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of time and calamity with their iniquity had in him. And because Esau continued for the afflictions against his brother Jacob. That's why we're prophesying against our modern day Messiah. That's why we're standing for boldness and prophesying against Esau's kingdom, because we have a choice on good. Psalms 137, verse 8. It says, O daughter of Babylon, you all should be destroyed. Happy should he be that the Lord leave the house of rest, by that great word should come to Esau Edom. Which represents Esau represents modern day Messiah. He represents the version of Babylon as well too. And so bring out that Ezekiel 5th chapter. I'll just bring out those precepts for that along the way. And this is the book of bring out the Ezekiel 5th chapter. Got this book of Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 1. Got this prophet Ezekiel chapter 35 verse 1. It says that prophesy against Messiah. Right, so it's like Ezekiel was prophesying against ancient Messiah, and we're prophesying against modern Messiah. Ezekiel chapter 35 verse 1. Oh, that's Ezekiel 35 verse 2. Ezekiel 35 verse 1. So I can't tripping right there. Ezekiel chapter 35 verse 1. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came to the same. Ezekiel 35 verse 2. It says, son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, prophesy against him. Right, so we're setting our side against Mount Seir, prophesy against him, just like Ezekiel. And so we're prophesying against Mount Seir. Ezekiel chapter 35 verse 3. It says, he said unto the one sin, Yahweh Shemashah, Mount Seir against him. So Yahweh Shemashah is still against Mount Seir. Esau Edom. I am against thee, and I will stretch out. It says, I will stretch out my hand against him, and I will make thee most desolate. Right, so it's going to make modern day Messiah most desolate. Just like he had ancient Messiah most desolate, and modern day Messiah most desolate, which is what Esau Edom. Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 4. It says, and I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I'm Yahweh. And so just like Esau was trying to build back up, like it says in Malachi, but Yahweh Shemashai don't break it down. That's Malachi, the first chapter. This is Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5. It reads, it says, because thou hast a perpetual HATRED, and has shed the blood of children of Israel, writes this day. Zechariah 11, verse 5, possess the set of wounds themselves not guilty, and that's Esau eating towards his brother Jacob. It says, and the force of the sword in time their calamity, in time their iniquity had an end, right? So in time their iniquity had an end, the Israelites, it's Esau contending for the affliction. It says, Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 6, now prepared against the blood should pursue. Salvi has not had hated blood. Verse 7. Thus I will make Mount Seir most desolate, and I'll call him that returned will pass out. That returned. Why? So Yahweh Shemashai is going to make modern day of Mount Seir most desolate. And that's why we're prophesying against modern day of Mount Seir. Just like the Israelites did in ancient times, Ezekiel did, and now we're doing this in modern day times now. And so with that, this is just a quick sit down lesson of Ezekiel 35, verse 2. I meant to put on the title of the lesson. I had put the first Ezekiel 35, verse 1, and say Ezekiel 35, verse 2. So I'm going to rename that to Ezekiel 35, verse 2, so it's lucky for that. So hopefully this was edifying for the spirit, power, and immersion of Yahweh. So this is a outside lesson number 2, as of April 25th, 26th, on the south side of the So with that, I'd like to give all praises to you to say Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Bahashem. In the Heavenly Father's name is Yahweh, my son, Bahashem, in the name of Mashiach, Yahweh, those are the true names in ancient level of Hebrew, the Rosh over time. I said, Rocky Bones, the elders and apostles for I until next time, I would say, Shalom, Shalom.